Hi guys, today I'm coming to you with a movie review. This one is about The Reading. The Reading is starring Monique and a host of new young actors. It's a 2023 film streaming on BT Plus. It's about Monique playing the star Emma Leading. Emma Leading experiences a tragic situation when home invaders invade her home and kill her entire family. Before the invasion, Monique is a happy housewife and mother, and the invaders they end up killing her husband, her teenage daughter, and her young son. And the movie takes you through the effects of that. It's a little scary and has a little twist. This review does have spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, please be cautious towards the middle and ending of this review. I'll give you a warning. So if you want to hear an honest review, positive and negatives about this movie, please stay tuned. What makes this film interesting is that it was produced by Lee Daniels, which we all know by this point. The relationship between Lee Daniels and Monique, the past relationship, they've kissed and made up. And this movie, you can say, is a little anticipated, highly anticipated, because it's their first project together since Precious. The film was written and directed by new filmmaker Courtney Claudet,
Courtney Claudet, writer director of the supernatural psychological thriller The Reading.
Along with Monique, actress Charlene Brown from the legendary show A Different World played the main character's mother. The main character, Sky, played by actress Chastity Surreal, played some type of medium that can speak to the dead. She was similar to the character Whoopi Goldberg played in the 1990 film The Ghost, which is interesting because Charlene Brown, who played her mother, had the same name as Whoopi Goldberg's character, Odea Brown, and also had similar gifts. So I'm not sure if it was a nod to that or there's supposed to be some kind of connection, but I found that interesting. Now let's talk about the positives of this film. The number one obvious positive of this film is Monique. Monique is a great actress. A lot of people were rooting for her, including myself, and just highly anticipated what project her and Lee Daniels will come out with after, they're reuniting and getting over their beef, right, that they had about Precious. Monique drew a lot of audiences to this film. I know, including myself personally, signed up for BT Plus, which I did not have before. I signed up for the 7-day trial just to see this film, and I know others who have done so as well, and that's because of Monique. I did hear originally that Octavia Spencer was to play the role. Now, I didn't see Ma. I may watch it soon, but I didn't see it. And I'm a fan of Octavia Spencer, but I honestly don't think she would have brought it like Monique. I can't be wrong, but that's just my opinion. So I think Monique is a positive in this movie because she did a great job, hands down. Another positive in the movie is the new actress that plays Sky, Chastity Surreal. One thing I will say about her character, it was not an easy play. She had a tough job for a new actress, and she executed it well, in my opinion. Her character was very believable. She seemed like she was really feeling what she was going through. She gave face. She just gave everything that needed to be given. And I honestly think that she was the best person in that role. Now, some background information about her. She's actually a designer. She was a contestant on Project Runway, and she is a clothing designer from Houston, Texas. She's also in her mid-30s, which is interesting because she looks very young, and I think she's playing a younger character in college, but she's actually in her mid-30s, and she has 2 children. Now, the third reason, and the best reason, other than Monique, of course, to watch this film is the twist. There is a twist. So, spoiler alert, if you're watching now, I will reveal the twist. So feel free to stop the video. I actually don't even want you to hear the twist if you haven't seen the movie, because honestly, and we'll get to this in the negatives, it's one of the best parts of the movie, if not the best part. The movie is about Emma losing her family, and she wrote this book, and she became a successful author, Then she goes on to promote the book, and her sister in law, who is, we assume, is the sister of her husband, helps her promote this book and has an idea about bringing these young psychics to help her promote the book. Like, it would be really interesting if people could see her sitting down, possibly talking to her dead family. And I can see how that could be marketed. But what the sister in law, Ashley, didn't anticipate is that Sky, the medium, that the one that can talk to the dead, she's real. So when she's going through this reading, Emma realizes she's real and starts to lock the doors and lock these kids in there. And at this time, everybody's confused. Like, okay, even me, while I was watching the movie, I was watching it with someone that already saw it. So he was trying to see my reaction. But I thought, oh my God, is Emma, who's Monique's character, is Emma possessed? Are the dead kids, is the dead family in the house? What's going on? And the twist is actually that Emma killed her family. And she realized that Sky, the medium, the psychic, that she found out. She found out through talking to her family, and she revealed that Emma's not a victim. She killed her family. And that's when, everyone got nervous, including the sister-in-law, because the sister-in-law also had no idea that she killed her family. In my opinion, this scene was the best scene in the entire movie. I love the twist. The way they did it, I did not see it coming. It was the climatic part of the movie, but I will say, in my opinion, it was the best part, meaning that was it. Don't get me wrong, we did see some funny moments and some great moments after this scene. We saw a great shift in Monique's character. She went from being a victim and everyone feeling sorry for her and oh my gosh, how could this happen, to being the victimizer, to being the person who terrorized everyone else, and just being in disbelief in the initial moments of finding it out. To me, that was the best part. But we'll get into the negatives about the movie next, because to tell you the truth, I think the reason why a lot of people have a problem with this movie is because there are way more negatives than there are positives. One of the main issues I had with the movie was the dialogue and conversations between characters. It was very undeveloped. The characters will repeat a lot of the things they said. Things that they said to each other wasn't even necessary. Some of the conversation was pointless. Some of the information they gave you was pointless, and it was like a dead end. And it didn't give enough information. It just wasn't. They could have been better off just doing improv, because it just didn't make sense. Maybe when he wrote it, they didn't really practice doing real readings, so he couldn't see that the conversations didn't flow. Another issue, which was an overall issue with the movie, was the plot. It just didn't make sense. There were certain things that just didn't make sense. For instance, what was the point of Monique killing or wanting to kill all these kids in her house? How was she going to explain this? Why didn't they just jump her? She had knives in the kitchen. They could have attacked her. There were 4 to 5 of them, including the sister-in-law. I know she had a gun, but they still could have, fought her. There were certain things in the movie that, just didn't make sense. The whole running back and forth. It just felt underdeveloped, and it just felt incomplete. And honestly, once they reached to that climatic scene where they reveal the twist, it seemed like they just gave up after that, writing the story. Other issues that I had with the movie, which were minor compared to the overall undeveloped plot, was the Ashley's character, who was the sister-in-law. I feel like they could have developed her character a little bit more. Her character wasn't that deep. They didn't give a lot of background on her. But because she did not know her sister-in-law killed the whole family, I would have loved to hear more from her and see her a little longer and see maybe a bigger reaction from her. She should have been more shocked than anyone else that she found out Emma killed the whole family. Another thing that didn't make sense is when the boyfriend got shot. Greg got shot. He lived for a long time after that, like as if he didn't get shot. I was shocked at how he was acting. I think that he should have died immediately after that shot, and they actually should have just killed his character there. But the fact that they made him continue running up and down the house, giving his girlfriend advice and assistance, it was a little weird. It was just like he didn't even seem like he was injured. Naturally, he probably should have died just from bleeding out if the impact of the shot itself didn't kill him. I also found a goof in Mark 123. You can see the red dot of the camera light in the reflection of the shower. Please comment if you watch it and you catch that. I just happened to catch that on my own. Is that not like the reflection of the light of the camera? How unprofessional is that? There are other little nuances that we can all pick apart about this movie, but it would take forever. Overall, I would give the movie a 6 out of 10, and some may say that's high, but I do feel like Monique's performance was great. Also, Chastity, the new actress that played Sky, Chastity Cyril, she was also convincing. Everyone else was just okay, but the two main characters were actually great. I do feel it was very underdeveloped. They could have done so much more. The movie could have been a little longer, but maybe it had a limited budget. Overall, I would give it a 6. If you do want to see this movie, it's not free. It's not on Netflix. It is on BT Plus. So if you do not have BT Plus, you do have to sign up for a subscription. They do have a 7-day free subscription that you can just see and cancel after 7 days and see it for free. I'm not sure if that's all the time or if that's limited. If you do choose to keep the subscription, it is $9.99 a month, which I don't think that's bad at all. I have watched a couple of things on BT Plus, but not too much of the content I'm interested in. I did watch the Murder Inc. documentary, which I found very interesting. I personally probably won't keep the subscription because other than this movie and the documentary, I don't really see much other content that I'm interested in. But I will say sign up for the free 7-day subscription and look around and see if you like anything. $9.99 is not bad. It's just a lot when you have to pay for all these different subscription services. You have Netflix, then you have Disney Plus, then you have BT Plus, then you have Stars and Amazon Prime and Hulu. All these subscriptions, they're not expensive alone, but they definitely add up when you have all of them. So I would say sign up for at least a 7-day free subscription. Look around and see if it's something that you're interested in. If not, keep it. If not, cancel it after the 7 days. Oh, and I do want to add, make sure when you watch the movie that you watch past the credits because Sky, the main character, she goes on the same talk show that Emma was on, and there's a little twist at the end. Leave a comment. What do you think is going to happen, or what do you think that meant, or what do you think happened? Can you explain that a little bit? Maybe there's a part 2. Who knows? Please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments.